Hey, welcome. Hope you're doing good. Thank you so much for joining me. So, today's reading is the person on your mind. How are they feeling about you, the relationship, the connection, whatever messages we can get, all right? So, how do they feel about you in the situation at the moment? There are three groups for you to choose from. We have group one, the peacock's oar, group two, the blue appetite, and group three, the fuchsia sight crystal. Okay, so group one, two, and three. If you do need a moment to choose your group, go ahead and pause the video, but I will see you all in your readings. Hey, welcome. Hope you're good. Thank you for joining me. So if you've chosen the first group, the peacock's oar, then this reading could be for you, all right? So the person on your mind, how are they feeling about you? We have the Hierophant in reverse. We also have the Seven of Pentacles in reverse. So I have to say, like, they do feel excited when they see you. They do feel like you both are different, but it does make them question things. It does make them nervous that you both aren't or may not be compatible, for long term. Maybe even short term as well. They do feel as though you both would have an unconventional relationship, whereas they want a more traditional and conventional relationship. They could be worried about how other people may perceive your relationship as well. And the thing is, like, in their mind, like, you're their type. You're what they are attracted to, but maybe it kind of goes out of like, even though you're what they're attracted to and stuff like that, it may still be seen as like unconventional for them. It's almost like you're their usual type, but they may not have confidence to pursue it or to maintain it, or they're so worried about the differences between you both. Even though they find you attractive, they may not feel confident enough to pursue what they actually like and what they actually want. I hope that makes sense. But yeah, they do feel like they are being restricted from you, or that you both are restricted in the environment that you guys are in. They may even want your relationship to be more restrictive when it comes to like the two of you. But maybe they don't feel like that's possible. But they do feel like these restrictions are kind of stopping any growth happening between the two of you. They do feel like they don't really have the freedom to pursue you in the way they want. I think I already said this, but they do feel like people would judge your relationship. And they also feel like they were being overly judgmental of you in the past. But they do feel like you are this free-spirited and rebellious kind of soul. And because they kind of view you as this free spirit, they may feel like they can't have the relationship they desire because of your free spiritedness and you being rebellious. At times, you do make them feel insecure in who they are. Like, you may not have done anything, you could be completely oblivious, Yeah, so you may not have done anything to make them feel that way. Just like their own thoughts and feelings. Like they could be comparing themselves to you, comparing themselves to people you used to date or people who they perceive you as kind of being interested in. So there is like a certain level of like jealousy. But yeah, they feel like they can't connect with you on a deeper level. But they feel like you are 100% yourself, which they have a lot of respect for. They also feel like you're an idealistic person. At times they feel like you do live in your head, or like you have your head in the clouds a little bit. Ultimately though, they are worried that things won't work out for you both. But they haven't fully made peace with that yet. So they're not fully like thrown in the towel. They're also afraid of disappointing you as well. And if they had certain plans or intentions towards you, they don't feel like they can see it through, or feel like it would be a mistake if they did see through their intentions and their plans with you. So they do feel really doubtful. For some of you, like they feel like you guys hooking up or you guys dating or becoming friends, whatever it may be, could end up being a mistake. So they are kind of worried about that. Unfortunately. So we have I deserve better. Please only take this if it resonates, but it is really coming out as this person feeling like they maybe, I don't want to say deserve better because that doesn't really feel like the right energy, like they think they're too good for you. It doesn't feel like that. Or maybe it feels like they maybe feel like they deserve someone who is more like compatible, like aligned with their own wants and needs and, you know, what they're kind of hoping from a relationship or friendship, whatever it may be, you know. So someone who aligns with their goals and their lifestyle and their yeah, and stuff like that. So we also have accountable. So for a lot of you, they kind of feel like they can't hold you accountable. It's like they feel like they can't have some level of control over you. It's like they feel like they can't mold you as well into like what they feel like they want. And they also feel like they've taken accountability when it comes to you. I don't know what that could be referring to. They could feel like they've been honest with themselves, not necessarily honest with you, but honest with themselves about how they feel and kind of like being realistic in regards to the relationship that you both have. So we also have your mind back off, my babe. So for a lot of you here, like they do feel a bit jealous, like about who else you could potentially be entertaining or talking to or hooking up with. We also have him still thinking of the little things you did and said. So they definitely don't feel like you'll be easy to forget or let go of. We also have bitter. They do feel bitter about the whole situation though. For a lot of you, this is actually referring again to like who else you could be, you know, spending your time with, talking to, even if it's like not in a romantic way. So we also have you're stronger than you give yourself credit for. So they do feel like you're very strong. They could feel like you downplay your strengths or you don't give yourself enough credit for certain things, whether this be a talent, whether this be, you know, your resiliency. I don't know if that's a word. Resiliency? Your resilience, sorry. So yeah, they don't feel like you give yourself enough credit at times. And finally, not finally. Also have, I'm worried you don't feel the same. So they are worried that you don't feel the same way, like about being realistic about your relationship and compatibility and long-term compatibility and stuff like that. So they are worried that you guys may not be seeing things from the same perspective. But yeah. So we also have soft. How do they feel about you? So they do feel like they need to tread carefully, like they definitely feel like they need to be gentle with you. For some of you, they maybe feel like they need to manage expectations. We also have worried. So they also feel worried about you. 8 of Swords. Why do they feel worried? So for some of you, like they do feel worried they can't take care of you, whether this is like a special need that you have or whether it's the kind of, you know, things that they see as challenges in your relationship or whether it's health related, but they feel like they can't, they're worried about being able to, is it? Yeah, being able to take care of you. And finally, we have tough. So they actually feel like the near future of your connection is going to be tough. But yeah, that's all that's coming through for this group. I do hope it could be helpful and make sense. But I am wishing you all the best. Okay, please take care. Bye. Hello, welcome. If you've chosen the second group, the blue appetite, then this reading is for you. So, the person on your mind, how do they feel about you, the situation at the moment? So they do have some doubts in regards to whether or not you guys will be able to be committed to each other in the long term. They could have doubts about your commitment to them long term as well. They do feel like you could just be enjoying the moment, and they may feel like they have to guard themselves. For some of you, they feel like they have to like guard their finances, their money, and their resources as well when it comes to you and the relationship. They just feel like maybe they shouldn't be overly generous. They also worry about their family accepting you. Maybe they feel like their family may not accept you, but they do feel like there is this strong physical connection between you both. They feel like you've both been brought up differently, which could impact your relationship as well. They also feel worried about financial matters too. They could also feel like you both argue too much, or there's the potential for you both to kind of butt heads and to maybe like get on each other's nerves a little bit. And they feel like they can't be responsible for you, either in general or for some of you, the way you're responsible for them, they maybe feel like they can't return that same energy. They also don't feel like they have enough stability in their lives, and they do feel like you could actually help them with their stability. Though long term, though, they feel like they won't be able to live up to your expectations, and they could already feel like they don't live up to your expectations as well. So they do have a lot of concerns about your relationship. They could feel like it's difficult for you both to communicate with each other effectively. And they're also worried that you guys, either, I don't know, for some of you, if you're currently arguing about money, they do feel like that is something that would kind of hinder your relationship, or it's currently hindering your relationship. So yeah, they could feel like this is something that you guys will also butt heads about, or you already do. So they could also hate that you both are fighting right now, or they hate that you guys are at odds with each other, or they kind of just dislike it when you guys fight or disagree. For a lot of you, though, they feel like this could be a potential for your relationship. So they also feel like there are other people that want them, but they want to keep exploring things with you. So they also feel like you both are being driven apart or kept apart, and they don't like it. But they don't really know what to do about it. They feel conflicted about what to do. They've also recognized that they could be being selfish. They could also feel like you see them as a bit selfish too. And they also feel like there's too many people kind of talking about your relationship, or they're worried about the gossip that will kind of come with your relationship. Hmm. So we have, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little jealous. So they could feel like you're jealous of them, or they feel like you're jealous of the attention that they get, or they feel like there's a potential for you to become a bit jealous when it comes to them. But they also feel a bit possessive and jealous when it comes to you too. So we also have don't judge me. So they don't feel like you're judging them. Do they feel like they don't feel like they're judging you? So they do feel like when people do kind of discuss and talk about your relationship, they do feel like people could be judging you both or judging your relationship from the outside looking in, or this is something that they are concerned about. So we also have, I want you close, please don't run away from me. So they do feel like there's this distance between the two of you, and they don't want that to like continue. They definitely want you guys to be closer. But kind of similar to that message that came out before, like they do feel you guys are being driven apart. So it's too late to say sorry. So if you know, with the Five of Wands, like if there has been something that's happened between you both, whether it was a challenge, an argument, tension, or just not being able to like compromise and meet each other in the middle, see eye to eye, then they do feel like this feels like it's more related to you in their perspective. They do feel like maybe it's too late for you to make amends or say sorry when it comes to this specific thing. So we also have our masturbate to the thought of you. So they do feel very physically attracted to you. That was clarified by the Eight of Wands as well. So they do feel like there is this strong physical connection to you both, between you both. Feels like they fantasize about you quite often as well. So we have deep throat. So they feel like you guys do need to have deeper conversations. They also fantasize about you doing that to them. Fantasize about oral with you. And we also have, I wish I had said something sooner. So they do wish they kind of had like met you earlier in life. And they do wish they had expressed some type of honesty with you sooner. Ace of Swords. They wish they like told you how they feel sooner as well. like they regret holding back in certain situations with you. So we have strict. So they do feel and are worried that they may not be able to meet some of your expectations. We also have individualistic. So they also feel like they still need their anonymity, like they still feel like they need their independence and their freedom in a way. But they actually they don't feel like you would restrict them in that way. They actually feel like you may encourage them in their individuality. And finally, we have shy. So they do feel like you guys need to have more honest conversations, even conversations that may seem uncomfortable. So if any of you do resonate with being quite shy, they actually find it quite endearing and cute. Whether that's shy with them or with other people or in certain situations. But yeah, that is all I have for those of you who chose this group. I really do hope it could be helpful and make sense for you. But I am wishing you all the best. All right, please take care of yourselves. Bye. Hey, welcome. Hope you're good. Thank you for joining me. If you've chosen the third group, the Fused Light Crystal, and this reading could be for you, all right? So the person on your mind, how do they feel about you, the relationship at the moment? So we have the Ten of Wands upright. We also have the King of Wands in reverse. So they feel like you or the relationship is a lot of hard work, or it would be a lot of hard work. They almost feel like you are an extra responsibility for them, or you would be an extra responsibility. And they're kind of unsure of whether or not they can take that on. They do really care about you though, and they could feel like you're stressed out or you have a life that's quite, stressful. Even if you don't find it stressful, maybe they kind of just feel like you have a lot on your plate, and they feel like that's making them stressed out, or they feel like it would make them stressed out, like all your responsibilities. And if you guys were to be together or to move forward in a serious way, like they feel like your responsibilities become their responsibilities, in turn kind of like stressing them out in the process. So yeah, they could be worried about that happening. So they feel like they do or would have to carry you in the relationship, which worries them. And they also feel like they would have to neglect themselves to have a relationship with you or to be able to move forward with you in a serious way. And they kind of like feel like they wouldn't be able to do what they usually do, like fun things, treating themselves, and other forms of like self-care. They don't feel like they will be able to do that. When kind of like comparing it to like what you may need, or what they kind of perceive you as needing. So yeah, it's almost like they feel like they would need to take their extra resources, which they would normally kind of spend on themselves, or save. So they kind of feel like they would have to take their extra resources, so they can't like spoil themselves, or treat themselves how they would usually. And they feel like you don't really take their concerns seriously, or they're worried that you won't take their concerns seriously. So they also feel like you can be selfish, or that's something they're afraid of. Like they're afraid of losing themselves in a relationship. And they may feel like you don't understand them, understand their needs and what they kind of want. So yeah, they're kind of just worried about the added pressure. So they also feel alone, like in their own burdens and their own troubles. And they don't really feel ready to lead and take on more responsibility than they can already handle. Or they're afraid of like taking something on and it turns out that, it's overwhelming for them. So they're kind of like worried about that. They also feel like you could be controlling, or you would be. They could also feel like you're trying to pressure them, or that's something that they're kind of worried about, like that extra pressure coming from you. And they also feel like they won't be able to adapt to your way of life or living, or something that you want them to do, or someone you want them to be. Like they don't feel like they will be able to adapt to like who you are. And they feel quite stressed out about the situation already, to be honest. And they could be worried that you may get in the way of their goals, or that you're currently getting in the way of certain plans and goals that they have. And they feel like long term you may not be a good fit for each other. But they do feel like the chemistry and the attraction between you both is insane. Some of you, like, they're worried about you being aggressive or domineering. So it feels like this person is definitely overthinking a lot, especially if you kind of don't resonate with being aggressive, or you don't feel like you're someone who would kind of pressure another person or force them to be something that they're not. So yeah, they definitely feel like they won't be able to have as much fun as they want to have. So we also have instant connection. So they do feel like the connection between you guys is like very passionate, fire. They feel like maybe they had an instant connection with you as well. We also have breaking cycles. So for some of you, like, they do feel like you want them to be something that they're not, or that's something that they're worried about, that kind of weighs on their mind. And they could feel like that would require them to like break certain routines or cycles or plans that they currently have, in order to like fit in to what you may need and what you may want. So they feel like the energy between you both is pretty intense and not always in a good way. Like sometimes they are worried that you both may hurt each other, or they may hurt you, or you may hurt them. That was clarified by the 8 of Cups and the 3 of Swords. So they are worried about like the outcome of your relationship. We also have, I'm not sure. So they do feel unsure about the future. They do feel unsure about what their next move is as well, and what, yeah, like what next action should they take when it comes to you. They do feel like, even though they are overthinking and they're having these doubts, they do feel like they kind of should just be patient, wait and see a little bit. They may not feel like they're established enough, or they don't feel like they're independent enough as well. Like to be in the kind of relationship that they may perceive you as wanting to be in. Like they could feel like it would require them to make a lot of changes. We also have nothing will stand in my way. So they feel like you're someone who's very determined. Like once you make up your mind, you're quite gung-ho about it, you know. So they do feel like, not that you guys are different in that way. They do feel like that could be something that will be an issue, because they do feel like you can be like very assertive or aggressive, or kind of just like plowing forward, you know. Very determined, and yeah, they're worried about how that could show up in your relationship, or they're worried about how that may affect them in the relationship, you know. So we also have passion. So similar to the message that came out before, like they do feel like you guys have a lot of passion, a lot of chemistry. But they also feel like you're a passionate person as well, which they like about you. We also have, I'm not the forgiving kind of person. So they're also worried because they, in their eyes, they feel like you aren't a very forgiving person. So that's something that they're worried about as well. Like they're worried about making a mistake, you know. So we have impartial. So they do feel like you are somewhat impartial towards them. I mean, this could be in a way where they feel like you don't treat them any differently than you do other people. So maybe they feel like you don't treat them in a way that kind of sets them aside, or like puts them on a different level to other people, if that makes sense. We also have frugal. So for some of you, they could feel like you're quite frugal. And finally, we have conservative. So they definitely feel like you hold more traditional values as well. Well, that's all that's coming out for this group. I really do hope it could be helpful and make sense for you. But I'm wishing you all the best, all right? Please take care. Bye.